Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel Legal Decipher. In the previous video we had discussed about the offense of rape as described in chapter 16 of the Indian Penal Code. If you have not seen that video, you can go and check it. The link is in the description below. In this video we will discuss about chapter 17, which contains the offenses relating to property and understand the substance therein. So if you're new here, please like and subscribe to my channel to get the video notifications. So let's get started. So today we're going to start chapter 17 that deals with offenses against property. So this is also a very long chapter and there are a number of topics that we have to discuss in this chapter. So we will discuss only 3 topics in this video and we will discuss the next topics in the next video. So in this video we will discuss about theft, extortion and the offenses relating to robbery and dacoity. So first let's understand theft. Section 378 talks about the offense that is called theft. It says whoever intending to take dishonestly any movable property out of the possession of any person without that person's consent, and he moves that property in order to taking such property. If he does so, then he is said to commit theft. So let's break down the section and understand how the offense of theft is committed. So first of all, there must be a dishonest intention. So the person who is taking the property must have a dishonest intention to take such property, and that property shall be movable property. We cannot commit theft on immovable property. So if that person is dishonestly taking any movable property out of the possession of the person who is the legal owner of such property without that person's consent. So first of all, there is a dishonest intention. Second of all, it is a movable property. Thirdly, it is taken out of the possession of that person without his consent, and it is actually moved in order to take such property. If all of these criteria are fulfilled, then it is said that the offense of theft has been committed. Now let's go through the explanations. It says a thing so long as it is attached to the earth not being movable property. So we already know that the things that are attached to earth are not movable property, they are immovable properties. So as long as the thing is attached to earth and it is not the subject of theft. So as long as the thing is attached to earth, it is a immovable property and it is not subject to theft. But it becomes capable of being the subject of theft as soon as it is severed from the earth. So as soon as it is cut off from anything that is attached to earth or permanently fastened to the earth, then it becomes a movable property and it also becomes subject of theft. Now explanation 2 says a moving affected by the same act which affects the severance may be a theft. So if that property is severed from the earth and it is turned into a movable property from an immovable property, then act of severance, that little act of severance will itself constitute the offense of theft, because it was not supposed to be a movable property that was severed from the earth and now it has become a movable property. The offense of theft under section 378 will think that as soon as the property is severed from the earth, it is done for the purpose of committing theft. Explanation 3 says a person is said to cause a thing to move by removing an obstacle which prevented it from moving. So if that person has actually moved an obstacle that was preventing that particular property to move, then it is in itself thought to be a commission of a thing to move, or if it is separated from any other thing to which it was attached. So as soon as that happens, it is said that the property is actually moved. Explanation 4 says a person who by any means causes an animal to move is said to move that animal and to move everything which in consequence of the motion so caused is moved by that animal. Say for example, there is a chariot that such person wants to steal. Now, along with the chariot, there are two horses. So, if that person whiplashes the horses and the horses start to run along with the chariot and it carries away, so that person has done so with an intention to steal that chariot. So, whenever he has caused the animal to move and such animal moved and everything that was attached to that animal also moved. So, there was a motion caused through which the offense of theft was committed. Now, explanation 5 says the consent mentioned in the definition may be express or implied and may be given either by the person in possession or by any person having for that purpose authority, either express or implied. So, the authority may be expressed or implied, that doesn't matter. Now, section 379 talks about the punishment for theft. It says whoever commits theft shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 3 years or with fine or with both. Section 380 talks about theft in dwelling house. So, whenever theft is committed in a house that is used for dwelling purposes of a person, then whoever commits theft in that building, tent or vessel which is being used as a human dwelling or used for the custody of property, then if theft is committed in that house, that person who has committed such theft shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 7 years and shall also be liable to fine. Section 381 talks about theft by clerk or servant of property in possession of master. So, if the clerk or servant steals the property that was in possession of the master under whom such clerk or servant was working, then that clerk or servant, for committing the theft of a property that was belonging to his master, this clerk or servant shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 7 years and shall also be liable to fine. Section 382 talks about theft after preparation made for causing death, hurt or restraint in order to commit the theft. So, if a person has made preparation to cause death, hurt or restraint so that he can commit the offense of theft, then in that case this person who has so done the preparation, he will be punished with rigorous imprisonment for a term which may extend to 10 years and shall also be liable to fine. Now, let's move on to the next part of this chapter that deals with the offense of extortion. It is covered under section 383 and it means whoever intentionally puts any person in fear of any injury to that person or to any other person and thereby dishonestly induces that person to put in fear to deliver to any person any property or valuable security or anything signed or sealed which may be converted into a valuable security. So, if a person puts another person in fear of injury and thereby dishonestly induces that person that you deliver such property or valuable security or anything that is signed or sealed that may be used as a valuable security, or else you will be hurt or anything bad may happen to you. So, whoever puts a person in that fear and that person reasonably apprehends that this person is going to hurt me if I do not give away my property, then that person who has so put this person in fear to extort the property from him has committed the offense of extortion. Now, section 384 talks about punishment for extortion. It says whoever commits extortion shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 3 years or with fine or with both. Section 385 talks about putting person in fear or injury in order to commit extortion. So, whoever puts a person in fear of injury to commit extortion shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 2 years or with fine or with both. Section 386 talks about extortion by putting a person in fear of death or grievous hurt. So, if that person to commit extortion has put another person in fear of death or grievous hurt, then that person who has so put the other person in that fear and committed extortion shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 10 years and shall also be liable to fine. Section 387 talks about putting person in fear of death or grievous hurt in order to commit extortion. So, whoever has done so shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 7 years and shall also be liable to fine. Now, section 388 talks about extortion by threat of accusation of an offense punishable with death or imprisonment for life, etc. So, whoever extorts from another person by threatening him that if you do not give away your property to me, I will accuse you of an offense that is punishable with death or imprisonment for life. So it is obvious that whoever puts a person in that kind of fear, he will very easily give up his property. No one wants to be accused of an offense that is punishable with death or imprisonment for life. So whoever extorts by using this means under section 388, he will be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 10 years and shall also be liable to fine. Now section 389 talks about putting person in fear of accusation of offense in order to commit extortion. So whoever puts another person in fear of accusation of any kind of offense in order to commit extortion, that person shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 10 years and shall also be liable to fine. And if the offence be punishable under section 377 of this code, then he may be punished with imprisonment for life. Now we will move on to the next part of this chapter that deals with the offences of robbery and dacoity. So section 390 talks about robbery. It says in all robbery there is either theft or extortion. So when theft is robbery and when extortion is robbery, we need to understand that. It says theft is robbery if in order to the committing of the theft or in committing the theft or in carrying away or attempting to carry away the property obtained by theft, the offender for that end voluntarily causes or attempts to cause to any person death or hurt or wrongful restraint or fear of instant death or instant hurt or of instant wrongful restraint. So an offense of robbery is an extended form of theft or extortion, because whenever a person tries to steal a movable property, it is classified as theft. But if such person, while he was stealing such property, while he was committing theft, if he tried to cause death of another person, or if he tried to cause hurt to another person, or if he wrongfully restrained another person, then that will escalate from theft to robbery. Now when extortion is robbery? Extortion is robbery if the offender at the time of committing the extortion is in the presence of such person and he puts fear and commits the extortion by putting that person in fear of instant death or instant hurt or instant wrongful restraint, or by putting that person in such kind of fear induces that person to deliver up the thing that is being extorted. So that is how an extortion will escalate to robbery. Now explanation says that the offender is said to be present if he is sufficiently near to put the other person in fear of instant death or instant hurt or instant wrongful restraint. So if somebody is extorting property from a far away place, then that is only extortion. But if he is present in that spot where the person who is to be put in fear is present, if he is in that vicinity and he is trying to threaten that particular person, he has put that person in fear and he is present there, so that will escalate extortion to robbery. Now section 391 talks about dacoity. It says when 5 or more persons conjointly commit or attempt to commit robbery, or where the whole number of persons conjointly committing or attempting to commit robbery and persons present and aiding such commission or attempt amount to 5 or more, every person so committing, attempting or aiding is said to commit dacoity. So dacoity is an exaggerated form of robbery. So we need to understand this, that the offense of theft or extortion is the base. If that person is adding fear of instant death, hurt or wrongful restraint, then it will escalate to robbery. Now dacoity is one step ahead. If 5 or more persons do robbery, then it will not be termed as robbery, it will be termed as dacoity. Section 392 talks about punishment for robbery. Whoever commits robbery shall be punished with rigorous imprisonment for a term which may extend to 10 years and shall also be liable to fine. And if the robbery be committed on the highway between sunset and sunrise, the imprisonment may be extended to 14 years. So the general punishment for robbery is rigorous imprisonment which may extend to 10 years. But if such robbery is committed on a highway between the hours of sunset and sunrise, that means during the night time, then such imprisonment will extend to 14 years. Now, section 393 talks about attempt to commit robbery. So, whoever has attempted to commit robbery, he shall be punished with rigorous imprisonment for a term which may extend to 7 years and shall also be liable to fine. Now, section 394 talks about voluntarily causing hurt in committing robbery. So, whoever tried to commit robbery and during committing such robbery, he voluntarily caused hurt to another person, then in that case he shall be punished with imprisonment for life or with rigorous imprisonment for a term which may extend to 10 years and shall also be liable to fine. Now, section 395 talks about punishment for dacoity. Whoever commits dacoity shall be punished with imprisonment for life or with rigorous imprisonment for a term which may extend to 10 years and shall also be liable to fine. Now, if a person commits dacoity along with murder, then that will be covered under section 396. It says if 5 or more persons who are conjointly committing dacoity commits murder in so committing dacoity. So during the commission of that dacoity, they actually killed someone. Every one of those persons shall be punished with death or imprisonment for life or rigorous imprisonment for a term which may extend to 10 years and shall also be liable to fine. Now, section 397 talks about robbery or dacoity with attempt to cause death or grievous hurt. So at the time of committing robbery or dacoity, if those persons attempted to cause death or grievous hurt, then that will be punished with imprisonment, with which such offender shall be punished shall not be less than 7 years. So it will be a minimum of 7 years of imprisonment. Section 398 talks about attempt to commit robbery or dacoity when armed with deadly weapon. So if those persons who were committing robbery or dacoity were armed with deadly weapon while committing such offense, then they will be punished with imprisonment, with which the offender shall be punished shall not be less than 7 years. In this case also, the minimum punishment shall be 7 years of imprisonment. And section 399 talks about making preparation to commit dacoity. So whoever makes any preparation for committing dacoity, they shall be punished with rigorous imprisonment which may extend to 10 years and shall also be liable to fine. And section 400 talks about punishment for belonging to gang of dacoits. So whoever belongs to a gang of dacoits shall be punished with imprisonment for life or with rigorous imprisonment for a term which may extend to 10 years and shall also be liable to fine. Section 401 talks about punishment for belonging to gang of thieves. So whoever joins or has association with the gang of thieves shall be punished with rigorous imprisonment for a term which may extend to 7 years and shall also be liable to fine. And section 402 talks about assembling for purpose of committing dacoity. So whoever assembles at a place to commit dacoity and there are 5 or more persons who have assembled for that purpose, then each of them shall be punished with rigorous imprisonment for a term which may extend to 7 years and shall also be liable to fine. Now we will cover the rest of the topics in the next video. So that's all in this video. If you like my videos, then don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video.